Hey, good morning, good morning. So what this is all about is this is all about brows. And this is also Fabulous After 50s Friday tip. But we're gonna talk about brows today. And I'll tell you why. Brows can make a difference in giving a lift on your facial features. Now, if you notice, this chick has a little bit of hair, but hardly any. I plucked a lot growing up, but also that's very light, very fine. Some of you might have brows and maybe only have to fill in. I have to create them, but sometimes even with filling in, we want to create more of an upward look in our brow area. Sometimes we have to tweeze because we get unibrow, or we have brow that comes down through here. What I always recommend is first go to a professional, okay? Maybe to get your brows waxed or tweezed correctly once, but this is what you do. You look at people that have great brows and say, where do you get your brows done? Or where have you? Okay, that's what's super important. All right, is to make sure that you go to somewhere, because I had a friend that was going to this person. I kept wondering what was wrong with her brows, and she goes, oh, I would go to a professional. I go to her every month. I'm like, and then I work with her brows. She went, what a difference. I'm like, you need to find somebody new or just tweeze them in that area. Okay, so here we go. Now remember this, that take time before time takes you, okay? And I help you to do that simply and affordably, okay? So in other words, we're not getting an eye lift. That's a little bit more expensive than using brow pencil and brow products, okay? All right, so here we go. First thing we're gonna do is I'm taking the Precision Brow Liner. Now I have foundation on. I like to do it on top of foundation so that it stays. And what I'm doing is I'm just going in here. It's a very, if you notice, very, you can even see it, thin, very thin. And I'm going in here and creating that shape first. Now I will I'll be absolutely truthful with you, because sometimes I get, both my eyebrows are never the same, but you know what? They're not supposed to be twins. So I just want to let you know that. They are not supposed to be twins. So if you notice, I'm just making little tiny lines. Now I am not into big bushy eyebrows, okay? So I hope you can see how I'm working with that. Notice. And again, it comes with practice and time, but remember, we're washable. Now, if you notice, what I'm doing is when I get here to the outside edge, kind of like where you put it across here, where the corner where my color of my eye is, that's where I start to create, okay, the arch. And then come down, and you don't go any farther past in the corner of your eye, okay? Got that? All right, and then up in here, I'm just gonna fill in a little bit more. Again, I'm creating that arch. Now, can you see? And this is actually my bad eye. If you notice, you don't see any lid here anymore. I had eye surgery maybe 10, 15 years ago, whatever. It is in my family. My father was completely closed. It's just one of those gravity things. But can you see how this eye looks so much more open than this eye? And how this side of my face has a more lifted appearance, okay, compared to that side. Yeah, that's the importance of a brow and of working with that brow shape. Okay, so then we're going to this side. And again, as I tell you, it's not about twins, okay? So there we go. Okay. Now, if you notice, I gotta work a little bit more, getting my arch up in here, and I have to take this a little bit farther down. Again, I want it to be the corner of the eye. Whoops, corner of the eye. So I have to take it down just a little bit more, otherwise it looks like, whoops, somebody cut me off. Now, they're definitely not twins. You can see the difference on the two. Okay, again, I am not perfect at this. I'm gonna try to go up in here, get a little bit more arch in there. Okay, so they are not twins. There we go, brows. Now, that is my first stage, kind of getting a shape for them. My second stage is this. I use brow tint. Why? Because otherwise they kind of go away, especially here in the hot and summer. Now our brow tint, I'm using a dark brunette here. And usually the color of your brows, if you can actually notice my, see, that's my real color of my hair. Real color with fake color, if that makes sense. This is all highlight from the sun and from my awesome hairdresser. Okay, so I'm taking this, and so that's why I use like dark brunette. For you have lighter hair, blonde, classic blonde. Classic blonde's more for like a dirty blonde or very light brown hair. Then we have brunette, then we have dark brunette. So notice how I'm wiping most of this off. What it does, it almost looks like a mascara wand. See that? It kind of does, it kind of does. Is there a little hair on there? I don't know, my glasses on. I am just taking this and maybe, now see, this is the thing. You have to have hairs to use with this. I don't have many. It's great for fill-in. But what I do is I put it on just, there's enough hairs in there, just enough that it kind of helps me to keep this on a little longer. So all I'm doing is just going over top. Okay, I'm putting a little bit on. That way it keeps my color on longer, it sticks. Now, I've heard another, do you love a beauty hack? Here's one for you. Get this in the color of your hair. And you know when those grays start to come, you just kind of like put it in those gray hairs, but I would use a different one, not the same one you're using for your eyebrows, but again, why not? Okay, and yeah, you can kind of color in the area where you would see it a little bit. How about that? Okay, so that's called brow tint. Now, the third thing I'm gonna be doing, this is how I do mine. The third thing I'm doing is I take an angled brush, and I have to make sure my angled brush is clean because the dirtier it gets, the wider, and it doesn't perform as well, okay? So I have to clean that. So what I'm doing is I'm actually finishing off with an espresso eyeshadow. And so, yep, that's 3 layers, but why? It's because I don't have brows. I'm pretty much putting them on and not much hair to keep it to. So there we go. And then I pop in here and I grab some finishing spray to keep them put, okay? So there you go. Brows after 50 or anytime. But as you notice, the effect it gives compared to what you saw me before, the lifting effect that brows give to the facial features. So, hope that's helped you. And remember, you are simply beautiful. God bless. Bye-bye.